Welcome back, Cougar family, to another episode of The Roar, your deep dive into STM Cougar athletics. I'm Hudson.
And I'm John Henry, and we'll be today's hosts. In this episode, we've got a lot to cover, starting with volleyball. We'll recap their big matchup last night against St. Joseph's Academy, as well as their recent wins over Southside and Catholic High of New Iberia.
On the football side, we'll break down the Cougars' tough loss at Acadiana. They fought hard and were in it until the final quarter, but came up just short. We'll hear from coaches and players to get a sense of where the team goes from there.
We'll also dive into swimming as they hit the pool last night and bring you up to speed on how the team is shaping up this season. Plus, we'll recap cross-country action, where a few of our athletes competed this past weekend in Doosan.
Finally, we'll get you ready for the weekend as Cougar teams will be in action across the state of Louisiana. Stay tuned. It's time to roar.
Lady Cougar Volleyball had a great match tonight against St. Joe's Academy from Baton Rouge, and they had a hard-fought win, and they won all 3 sets.
It was the setter in the middle. We connected really well. We've been doing it in practice a lot, so it's really good just to see it come together in the game. This season, I really focused on improving my servicing because I was the middle and I just moved to outside, which involves me passing back and servicing.
This past Friday night, the Cougar football team played a tough game against the Acadiana Rams.
Cougars lost in the last few minutes of the game, ending with the final score of 7-20.
After the game, Brian Broussard was interviewed about his pick-6 play, which scored the touchdown for the Cougars.
Ethan Poche was also interviewed about the O-line and their performance in the game.
Then we sat down with head coach Jim Hightower to discuss the team's tough losses these past 2 weeks and his thoughts on how the team will bounce back against another tough opponent in Neville this Friday at Neville.
It just means that defense knows what to do to be successful, and we didn't get the win tonight, but at the end of the day, we know we need to get better, and we have a hard opponent next week at Neville. We just need to know we need to work our butts off and just get better, totally offense and defensively together. We're a team here, and they were really the only reason I got that is because we punched the ball out, and I was just running from there. But I would just say that we need to lock in this week, have a good week of practice, good workouts, and be ready for Neville next Friday.
I don't know what to say besides 1,000% tomorrow morning, Monday, this entire next week of practice. We're going to be putting in the work. We're going to be doing what we need to do to get better, and that's all I can really say about our growth as a team. We're going to put in the work, and we're going to get better.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes focused on our ultimate goals, which is what's going to be occurring at the end of the season, not at the beginning of the season. So we're a work in progress. We know that. We're going to keep working hard. We're going to try and make ourselves better every day on the practice field, and hopefully it's going to show up pretty soon on the game field.
Welcome back to the Cougar swimming team. We've got some exciting updates as we head into today's meet at the Earl J. Chris swimming pool. Following the team's close second-place finish last week, 3 Tuesdays ago, the Cougars gave it their all. Although the boys finished first and the girls finished second place overall, they fell short to Barb High School, losing by less than 10 points. A special shout out to our standout swimmers, Amiel Corville, Brooks Wesweber, and Thomas Landreneau. Together they led the charge, each winning 2 different events and showcasing their exceptional talent.
This past weekend, Cameron Hike and Noah Richard ran at the LCA Invitational at Stevers Airfield. Cameron placed 4th overall, and Noah Richard placed 25th out of almost 200 runners. We wish them the best of luck for their season and their next meet this Saturday. Go Cougars!
Now let's shift gears to what's ahead and take a look at where the Cougars will be in action next.
Football and cross country are both heading up to Monroe. Football will take on undefeated Neville High School at Bill Ripple Stadium in what promises to be a thriller. It's the Cougars' first trip up north since the Walker Howard era, and all eyes will be on this matchup. We caught up with a couple players and coaches to give us a preview.
We're working really hard. We know it's going to be a tough matchup. One of the storied programs in Louisiana high school football history. They've got a great fan following, got a great venue to play at, and we're just excited about the opportunity to keep getting better.
As we gear up for this week's meet at the pool, with fresh competition on the horizon, it's a perfect opportunity for our swimmers to shine. We know our team is ready to dive in and push to their limits and show just how far they've come. since their last meet. We interviewed Coach Chris Landreneau to get his thoughts and see what to expect in these next few hours. We're here with Coach Chris Landreneau. So, who are some standout swimmers we should keep an eye on during this upcoming meet?
Well, I think it's mostly probably my veteran swimmers. I've got Everett Hillman, Thomas Landreneau, Brandon Mikata, and Amiel Corville on the girls' side. We've got a pretty solid team across the board, but they're definitely kind of holding well in a leadership position, and I expect some pretty good times out of them.
That's awesome. So, are there any specific events you recommend fans pay attention to?
I think the 200 free is always a good event. I think it sets the tone for the meet, and I think that really goes for championship meets and state. 500 free is something that I'd like fans to pay attention to. I think it's one of the toughest events, and I think it gets overlooked a little bit because it's long. But I would like fans to really take a look at some of the work the kids are doing in that event, and it's tough.
Final question. How confident are you going into this meet that the team will pull through and get the overall win today?
I'm confident they're going to do well. I think they have their heads in the right space. I told them earlier that I'm not really worried about the outcome. I'm worried about the process. And if they take care of business and do what they need to do, I think it'll all work itself out. But we're looking strong, finishing well throughout.
Awesome. Thank you so much. With the Cougars eager to build on their recent successes, fans can expect some thrilling races ahead. There's no doubt the team is ready to showcase their exceptional talent and determination as they dive into this week's competition and aim for victory. Go Cougars.
That wraps up another episode of The Roar. Be sure to follow STM Athletics on social media for all the latest updates and highlights. Come on, Cougar family. Show up and show out, and let's hear your roar. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Bunch of champions, that's what we've got.